Hey there, Discover Family Church. Hope you guys are doing well today, this Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited. Tomorrow for church is going to be really awesome. We have a cool little music time planned, and Pastor Jeff is sharing an awesome message. And so make sure you're inviting your friends to be a part of what we're doing. We're excited about it. And also remember our kids services. They drop at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning on our YouTube and on our Facebook channel. Lots of ways to catch up with what we're doing. We're going to jump right back into Matthew. And we're at Matthew chapter 22. And this is verses we've heard a million times, but I want to explain something about them for you guys. So this is Matthew 22, verses 34 through 40. It says, "But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. 'Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?'" So he's saying, "Hey Jesus, what's the biggest? What's the number one commandment? What's numero uno?" And he said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets." And we've all heard those, right? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love other people. And he says, hey, all the other rules that you guys talk about, they are all wrapped up in just those two. But the order that Jesus gives those two is very important because, see, the order of these... Jesus didn't teach that in order to be in a loving relationship with God that we must first love our neighbors. He didn't say, hey, love other people so that you can be in a good relationship with me. And I think this goes back to the way a lot of us think when it comes to sin or living right for God. I can't tell you how many times people will say, well, I'm trying to get better so I can have a good relationship with God. And that's what Jesus is showing us here, is that that's not the order of business at all. That the order of business is not loving other people so that you can love God. Basically, he's saying, hey, the great and first commandment is to love God. It's to love God with your entire being. Elsewhere in the scripture, other places in the Bible, if you go into 1 John chapter 4 or Romans chapter 5, we see that God shows us that we love others because we loved God first, that we were believers in Him first, and that led to the love of other people. You see, a loving commitment to God is initiated by God Himself. He loves us, and that's why we can love Him. So the very first step in all of this is that He loves us, and He already does. He already did. He always will. He loves us, and so because of that, we get to love Him. And when we love Him, we become more like Him. And so that's where the change happens, is that it's not about doing the right things so that you can love God or have a relationship with Him. It's about having a relationship with Him and allowing the change that happens, the transformation that happens when you love Him, to change you so that you love other people. Paul talks about this to the church in Corinth. He talking about the Macedonians and how they gave of themselves completely because they had God completely. Basically Jesus. We even see this all the way to the disciples. That Jesus' disciples, they didn't earn God's favor. In the same way, we as disciples of Jesus, we don't earn God's favor by loving our neighbors. You don't get higher up on the food chain with God. You don't have a better relationship with Him because you love your neighbors. You love God because He has shown you grace and mercy, and He's done it all through sacrificial love by giving us Jesus. And when we love Him, then the love that God has for us, we have for Him, and His love for us overflows us, and it spills out on the rest of the world. It's not about doing more or being better. It's about loving Him more. and loving him better. And when we do that, the love that he has for you will spill out. And all of a sudden you start loving other people. The order is so important. Don't wait to make a decision. Don't wait to love him until you're better, until you're past this sin or this addiction or this pain or this hurt or whatever it is. Don't wait to get through that to begin your love with Jesus and with God. Love him now. And when you do, his love will spill out to the people around you. I love you guys so much, and I love you because I love him, and it spills out. And so I hope you guys are having a great week. I miss you guys so much, and I can't wait till we can be together at some point, and we'll be doing some updates really soon talking about that. But until that day comes, thank you for being a part of what we do here online, and keep inviting your friends to watch and be a part of what we're doing. Love you. Have a great, great day, and we will see you at church tomorrow morning.